Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome. Alaafin for yours 48-hour ultimatum to the Ooni of Ife backfires. Yoruba elders, rise in anger against a brewing palace war. This is what is going on in the interest of those who do not know what is happening right now on social media. Now, the recent clash between the Alaafin of Oyo and the Ooni of Ife has unsettled many Yoruba people across the world. Not because quarrels, between kings are new, not because they don't quarrel at all, but because of the seriousness of the issue at hand. Sorry. Yes, because of the seriousness of the issue at hand. Now, if you have been following what's going on, when news came that the Alaafin gave the Ooni of Ife a Role Oduduwa 48-hour ultimatum over a chieftaincy title the Ooni conferred, elders, leaders, and Yoruba sons and daughters across the globe immediately reacted with shock and anger. For them, it was not just about two kings, disagreeing. It's about protecting Yoruba identity, protecting the history and the sacred order that has held the Yoruba nation together, for centuries. Okay, there's this sacred order between them that has held this nation together for centuries right now. Now, what happened? A lot of you may ask, okay? This thing started, I don't know, for some reason, I wanted to wait till weekend before doing this under history, but because of the way it's going round, I decided to do it today. Now, for those of you who do not know what is happening right now, the Alaafin of Oyo and the Ooni of Ife are having very, very serious problems right now. But if you know the Ooni of Ife is a very simple man. Ooni of Ife doesn't even see those things as anything, but, Alaafin of Oyo, the way he's carrying on a lot of Yoruba people, with due respect to him as a king, okay, Yoruba people are very upset. Now, what happened? The story began with the chieftaincy title itself. The Ooni of Ife, in line with his duty as custodian of Yoruba culture and heritage. Sorry, they are frying something in my house. The pepper, recently conferred a significant chieftaincy title. Yoruba chieftaincy title are not just decorations, they carry deep historical weight. They symbolize service, recognition, and identity. They can strengthen unity, honor contribution, and preserve tradition. The Ooni conferred the title on a respected Yoruba son whose contribution to Yoruba culture, development, and identity is considered significant. Now, the meaning of the title is, tied to preserving Yoruba unity and celebrating Yoruba achievement at a time when culture is under threat, okay? Now, the problem arose because of the perception that the Ooni had entered into a space that Oyo kings traditionally saw as, their own. In history, the Alaafin of Oyo had authority over military titles, especially the famous Are Ona Kakanfo. I may not be pronouncing that word well. Now, the generalismo of Yoruba land. Okay, that title symbolized, war leadership and was appointed by the Alaafin during the height of the Oyo Empire. Holders like Afonja of Ilorin and in modern times, MKO Abiola and Gani Adams made it famous, okay? The Ooni's new title, although not exactly the Are Ona, Kakanfo, carried the weight and symbolism that some in Oyo circle felt was too close to their historical domain. This was, what triggered the Alaafin's reaction. He issued a 48-hour ultimatum to the Ooni of Ife, like a small boy, not like him, Alaafin, being a small boy. I say he issued that ultimatum as if he was issuing it to an ordinary person. He said he was giving Ooni of Ife 48 hours, apparently demanding that he reverse or withdraw the title or face consequences. Now, to many Yoruba people, this was very, very shocking to them. How could he? Like, you cannot do this. You cannot give the whole Ooni of Ife 48-hour ultimatum. All what will happen? Yoruba started getting very upset. Now, and it was also very shocking to them. They asked, how can anyone issue an ultimatum to the Ooni of Ife? The Ooni's throne is not just one of many. It is the source of all Yoruba kingship. The Alaafin is powerful and historically important, but even the Oyo Empire in its prime recognized that its origin was Ile-Ife. The Ooni's throne represents the cradle of Yoruba civilization, the link to Oduduwa, the father of the Yoruba people. This is why Yoruba elders immediately rose in anger. The ultimatum was not just seen as an insult to the Ooni as a man, but an insult to the Yoruba heritage itself. Ile-Ife is the source. Every Yoruba king, whether Alaafin, Alake, Awu, Jale, Deji, all others, traces legitimacy back to Ife. To give the Ooni an ultimatum was like telling the Yoruba people that their very foundation could be dictated to. Elders could not stand for this. They reminded everyone of the history that Ile-Ife is a spiritual home, that Oduduwa's throne cannot be compared, and that the Ooni's rule is unique and above rivalry. But beyond history, the support for the Ooni also came from what he has been doing in present. The Ooni of Ife has not been a ceremonial king sitting quietly in his palace. In the last several years, he has worked actively to promote Yoruba culture across the globe. We all know that he has traveled to the United States, to Europe, to the Caribbean, to Brazil, to Cuba, and to many parts of the world where Yoruba descendants live because of slavery. Millions of Yoruba people were scattered to the Africans, okay? In Brazil, in Cuba, in Trinidad, in Haiti. I've been saying this, Yoruba tradition survive through religion, festivals, and language. The Ooni has been reconnecting these people to their root. He has opened cultural centers, participated in Yoruba festivals abroad, and giving people of Yoruba descent a renewed sense of pride in who they are. And you get up and you come and you're giving Kabiyesi, the Ooni of Ife, 48 hours to do what would happen. That is what Yoruba people are saying. Now, in Nigeria itself, the Ooni has taken steps to address unemployment and hopelessness among Yoruba youth. He has supported vocational training, technology, and entrepreneurship. He has created opportunities for young people to work, to learn, and to build their future. At the time where the Yoruba economy has left millions of youth, the Nigerian economy has left millions of youth without job, the Ooni has used his influence to create pathways of hope. This is not the work of a king, content with rituals alone. It is the work of a modern leader who understands the struggles of his people. When people ask, why are Yoruba people standing with the Ooni of Ife in this matter? The answer is clear. The Ooni is not only the spiritual father of the Yoruba race by history, he's also the one working hardest today to carry Yoruba identity into the future. He is the one recognized globally as the face of the Yoruba heritage. He is the one creating jobs and opportunities. He is the one uniting Yoruba people at home and abroad. So when the Alaafin issued an ultimatum, Yoruba people naturally asked, what have you done recently that gives you the right to compare yourself to the Ooni of Ife? What have you done that equals his effort in protecting and promoting the Yoruba name across the globe? Why would you get up and give Ooni of Ife an ultimatum? Now, for Yoruba people in diaspora, the Ooni's place is even more unquestionable. In Brazil, in Cuba, in the United States, Yoruba descendants do not know the Alaafin in the way they know the Ooni of Ife. Their festivals, their gods, their heritage trace back to Ife. When the Ooni visits them, they welcome him as a father. They see him as, they do not see him as a local king, but as the custodian of their identity. For them, there is no question of rivalry. The Ooni is their link to home. This is why, they too reacted strongly against the ultimatum that was given to the Ooni of Ife. Yoruba elders also, know the dangers of palace rivalries. History has shown that internal division weakens the Yoruba nation. During the fall of the Oyo Empire, internal quarrel made the Yoruba vulnerable to external enemies. Elders fear a repeat of the history. Today, Yoruba people are already struggling with political marginalization, economic hardship, and cultural delusion. The last thing they need is kings dragging the nation into unnecessary quarrels over title. That is why elders have insisted that the Alaafin ultimatum was wrong. It must not continue. The title that the Oni gave out was not meant to provoke. It was meant to celebrate Yoruba greatness and unity. It was meant to honor someone who has contributed to Yoruba progress. It was meant to show that Yoruba culture is alive, not only in history, but the present. To turn, that into a quarrel is to miss the point. The Oni was not challenging the Alaafin. He was doing his duty as custodian of the Yoruba heritage. And this is what everybody is saying. At the root of all this is, respect. Yoruba culture is built on respect. Respect for elders, respect for culture, respect for order. The Alaafin deserves respect as king of Oyo, but the Oni, also deserve respect as the father of, all Yoruba kings. Without that respect, quarrel will multiply and unity will suffer. Yoruba people cannot afford that now. They need unity, they need cultural pride, and they need leaders who put, the people first. And that is what the Yoruba elites are saying. Talking to Alaafin of Oyo. So when Yoruba people across the world rejected the ultimatum and stood with the Ooni of Ife, it was not about blind loyalty. It was about history, about present reality, and about the future. They know Ife is the source. They see what the Oni is doing. They know he is lifting their name globally, and they ask, very simple, what has the Alaafin done since he resumed office? Recently, they've had issues where Oni will go to an occasion. If you know the Oni very well, Oni is a very, a simple man. Oni will stand up to greet Alaafin, and Alaafin will be seated there. Well, this is not something that should bother anyone because it depends on personal perspective. But that kind of, authority that you think that you're more important than the Ooni of Ife is where the Yorubas across the globe are coming to say no, it is not supposed to be so. Both of you are kings. You should give each other respect. Yorubas are saying, look, if you had even called a meeting, maybe went to the Ooni of Ife or, spoken to the Ooni of Ife through emissaries, it would have been more respectful than coming out on social media and everywhere to give an ultimatum. And then tomorrow they will say bloggers should not talk. When things are happening like this, what do you expect bloggers to do? This is their job. Their job is to talk. And then you blame it on them. It's been, sorry. They said the Alaafin's ultimatum has backfired. Instead of weakening the Oni, it has reminded Yoruba people of the importance of Ile-Ife. It has shown the world where the true authority of Yoruba heritage lies, and it has united voices across Europe, Nigeria and diaspora in defense of their ancestral father. The Ooni of Ife remains what he has always been, the custodian of the Yoruba race, the father of all Yoruba kings, and the one leader who cannot be placed side by side with any other. I'm going to bring you more updates. Do not forget that these are all alleged rumors, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.